Hello, everyone, and you're very welcome to ATU Sligo's Meet the Students panel. We hope you're enjoying the virtual open day. My name is Rachel, and I'm the Digital Marketing Officer for ATU Sligo, and I will be hosting this panel. So we'd encourage you to ask questions in our Q&A box, and any questions we don't get to during the panel, we'll make sure we answer them afterwards by text. So I'm going to introduce our students now. So I'm joined by Aaron Neenan, who's studying creative design. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, guys. How's things?
I'm also joined by Eva Nivurakon, who's studying marketing. Welcome, Eva.
Hi.
I'm also joined by Daniel Halpin, who's studying computer science. Hey, Daniel.
Hi.
And I'm joined by Alana McGrory, who's studying pharmaceutical science and drug development. Hi, Alana.
Hi.
So we'll jump straight into it, guys. Many people watching today are parents and students, and there's bound to be some nerves about making the transition from second level to third level. So maybe I'll start with Aaron there. Aaron, how did you find the transition going from secondary school into college?
Yeah, it was super easy, super smooth. The campus isn't really that big anyway, so it's very easy to kind of get around and find your way around and stuff like that as well. And of course, the nice thing about ATU Sligo is having, kind of smaller classes as well, so everybody can look out for each other as well. And it's very easy to break the ice with everybody here. So
That's
yeah,
brilliant.
Very good.
Did you know anyone before you started, or did you just come up completely?
No, I just came in blinded, so I'm still here. So
yeah, that's good. That worked out well then. So, what about you, Alana? How was your first week? The big jump from secondary into third. Were you nervous?
I was nervous, but again with Aaron, I did find it smooth enough. Like as he was saying, Sligo is not a huge campus compared to say like DCU, UCD. Like they're huge. Like with Sligo, everything's connected. Like it's 10-minute walk from say science block and B the whole way over to the construction block, and you're still within one building. So it's nice. It's not like.
Did you find there was much to kind of help you make the transition? Like, would you have taken part in say like the inductions and that kind of thing?
Yeah. So the first day, you get your induction. So the first day, there's the first years are all in an open arena together. So there could be 1,000 first years, but it's really nice to get to meet, like say the president of the college, the president of the SU, student union, and yeah, it's great crack the induction. Like they throw on like the barbecue in the brewery. There's a few nights out. Like July.
More than a few, yeah.
That's crack.
Good stuff. That's brilliant. And what about you, Evia? How did you find it? Was there any nerves at all coming from second level into third level? Was there anything that helped you make the transition for anybody who's watching today?
Well, I mean, I think it's like the first day you do anything, like your first day in secondary school is the same, and the first day of work is the same. You're always going to be a bit nervous, but like as soon as you find your wee circle of friends, you're grand, and you will find them. Like there's so many activities, you'll find your wee crew, and then you'll be grand and you'll be sound.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. It's good advice because definitely you do when you come to college, you make totally new friends, and at first it's quite daunting, but you definitely will get there. What about you, Daniel? You came from Longford to Sligo, was that right? How
Yeah,
did you find? Did you know anyone when you started?
know a few people, but not really in my course. So,
Yeah, yeah. And was there anything in particular that helped you settle in, Daniel?
uh, first day, some of the lectures, especially in computing, try and do like team building exercises and icebreaker exercises. So that helps, I guess.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I suppose it takes you out of yourself a little bit as well, which is always good. So there's definitely a nervousness when you are starting third level, but the important thing to remember is that we're here to support you. So there's lots of different kind of supports and services that should be available. There'll be an induction week. There'll be support services available like the SU, the Academic Writing Centre, Math Support Centre, and things like that. But your student union are also a great source of support as well as your lecturers. And for many students who are starting with us or are going to be starting with us next year, Sligo will become a home away from home for the next few years. So one really important part about transitioning to college is obviously finding the right kind of accommodation. So Alana, how did you find the accommodation? Did you live on campus when you moved down, or what did you do?
Yeah, I've been in two different accommodations through my 4 years here. So me and mum, just like in May or whatever, when I decided it was ATU Sligo I was going for, just went online, did a quick Google, and we just booked kind of the first place that came up that looked nice. Pretty much all accommodations 10 minutes from the college. So that's helpful. You're not like getting buses to college, you're not tracking from one side of a city to another. Just all there.
It's
And
all
it's
on your
really nice
doorstep.
too. Yeah, exactly.
No, it makes a massive difference. You're right, and it is. I think you and I were chatting before about how like you can nip back in between lectures and things like that, which is also good as well. What about you, Aaron? Are
Yeah.
you in student villages, or what did you do for accommodation?
So I suppose the first 3 years that I was here, I wasn't in student accommodation. I was actually in private accommodation through one of the letting agencies in town. And they're also very good for helping out students as well. So some of them would rent out rooms, even the likes of going on daft and stuff like that as well. The landlords are more than happy just to let out the room at a fixed cost, whatever it is. But for my final year, I'm in Yates Village. So it's just one of the student accommodations, and it's literally like a 5 minute walk from the college. So it's bang on.
Too close.
And not well, no excuses, but but yeah, no, it's there's definitely lots of options out there for students, whether that's private or student accommodation as well. So
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. What about you, Daniel? Are you in digs or did you go for private rental? How did you find finding accommodation when you moved on?
I've been in like throughout my 3 years in three different accommodations. So first year I went to like Dunbolden, which is one of the more expensive ones. Then last year I was in a Glencarrick, which is like student housing in the state near the college. And this year just Gateway, which is pretty much right on the campus. So like 1 minute
Yeah,
away.
that one's just like you can literally see the college from like
Yeah.
the apartments. It's really handy. That one was just being built when I was studying actually. So it's a great one. And what about you, Evie? You're commuting in from home, are you?
Yeah, I live just nearby. I live about half an hour drive, so I stay at home and I drive in the mornings. So
Which in itself can make the days quite long. Like I know when you're in that kind of close enough to drive, but you kind of have to stay in nearly for the day and things like that. So it's good for people to hear that like that's an option as well. I suppose one of the things that we would say about accommodation, it's really affordable in Sligo. But like everywhere in Ireland right now, we've noticed that obviously the demand for accommodation has increased massively. So one of the things that we would have always said is there was lots of accommodation available all throughout the year, but this year we would say it's good to kind of start looking at your accommodation options early in the process. So it's no harm to just keep an eye out as you start to decide what programs you want to study and things like that, so that you can live in villages like the guides do, like Gateway, Yates. There's a lot of different options. You can be, like as Aaron was saying, in private rental, you can be in student villages, you can be in digs. There's tons and tons of options. There's a lot more information about that in your prospectus as well. So one of the things that people are going to be interested in is traveling to college and going up and down during the week and that kind of thing. So Aaron, Do you want to tell us about how it all started off for you? How easy or difficult was it to get up and down to IT Sligo?
Well, to start off, I suppose I'm originally from Cavan, so it's about an hour and a half away from me. But I was lucky enough that in my local hometown there was a private bus that was going through just a few times in Cavan. Would pick us up and would bring you back home on Friday afternoon or something like that as well. So that was really handy. But now I'm driving, so I know that bus service is still going. Yeah, but yeah, it was just super handy to get here, and it was brought you straight to the college, or straight to your accommodation, whatever it is. And there was obviously a time where you had to meet on campus to get home again. But look it was really handy. No issues there. So
that's brilliant. That's Cavan, so we know there's direct links there. And Alana, you were coming down yourself. You had a bit of a distance to travel too. How did you find the commute up and down?
Yeah, so I'm from South Donegal, so Vita O'Donnell go from the North Peninsula to Galway and back twice a day, every day. And then on the weekends, on Fridays, they do 2 extra runs for students and pick up campus. And then on a Sunday, they do the reverse. They do 2 extra runs running south to drop all the students back off for the week.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's not that expensive either. It's only like, for me, it's €10 each way.
That's really good. That's great.
Yeah.
It's affordable because there's a lot of expense when you first start into college. Like, you're looking for your accommodation, you've got to get books, all these sorts of things. So it's good to hear that it's not too pricey. And what about you, Daniel? You were coming from Longford. Did you do the train or what did you?
Yeah, the train's about an hour and a half maybe, and it runs every few hours, so it's pretty handy.
Yeah, it's great. It's really, really useful. And Evia, obviously, I know you're traveling in and out by car, are you?
Yeah, I drive every morning, so
Yeah. The traffic's not too bad, and there's lots of parking as well on campus if you're early.
if you're early, that's it.
Yeah. Otherwise you'll be walking a little bit back. But so one of the things I suppose to note as well, guys, is to anyone watching, there are train services obviously depending on where you're coming from. There's bus services, private and public, and there's also a new bus route now that's coming from Monaghan. So McConaughey buses are actually adding a line that they hadn't before, that is running Friday and Sunday service for students, which is fantastic. But yeah, as the guys were saying, there's a lot of buses going from the car park here and things like that, and Vita, the likes of them, they run very, very frequently. So traveling to IT Sligo up and down should hopefully be very, very easy and affordable. Affordability is really important as a student, and understanding about the cost of living, because obviously when you leave home for the first time, there's a lot of hidden expenses and things like that. Luckily enough, Sligo is pretty affordable place to live. So how have you found cost of living, Aaron, in terms of eating out and all that sort of stuff? How has it been?
You're going to learn pretty quickly anyways, but yeah, no, look, Sligo's fine. The campus looks after the students really well, especially when it comes to getting lunch and stuff like that as well. There's plenty of stores around, like the likes of Lidl, SuperValu, Tesco, wherever it is, and there's also some of the clothes shops as well. They like to do some student discounts as well. So yeah, you will learn, but yeah, it's not too bad at all. The dinners are like a £5 in college, and that basically sets you up for the day. So yeah, it's grand.
Very popular, the dinners here. The queues are all around the corner. Have to go to lunch early. One of the things I've heard, I don't know, I'm assuming this is true, but I've heard that we've got the cheapest Starbucks in Europe in the Students' Union shop. Have any of you heard that before?
Yeah.
Claim to fame. What about you, Alana? How do you find cost of living in Sligo?
Well, compared to Donegal, in some places it's actually a bit cheaper. Donegal town would be famous for a lot of food places, and they tend to hype it up because we get a lot of tourists. But around Sligo, it's a bit cheaper, I'd say, sometimes, surprisingly. So yeah,
brilliant.
It's not too bad.
Brilliant.
Compared to Dublin, it's a lot better, obviously.
Absolutely. And what about you, Evia? How have you found it in terms of shopping and everything else?
Yeah, there's plenty of places to get, especially cheap groceries. We have Lidl, Aldi and Tesco, and there's always special deals on, so keep your eyes open. And if you just keep a budget and you kind of stick to it and just try not to go out eating every day, then you'll be fine.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, one of the big perks of college is obviously it's your first step out kind of into freedom and independence and all the rest of it. And I suppose it's really important to make the most of that. So Sligo's obviously a great place to live. There's lots to do. So maybe I'll just chat a little bit, Evia. Why don't you tell us about your favorite places to kind of go on a like day in town?
Well, I mean, it depends what you're into, but like there's a cinema, there's obviously loads of shops, so if you like shopping. If you're into sports, there's plenty of sports places, plenty of gyms. I love horse riding, so there's a horse riding centre. And then if you want to try surfing, down Strand Hill, you can go surfing. And of course, there's plenty of cafes and restaurants. It's really cool, actual restaurants. We have a variety of like, we've like a Mexican, we've like Japanese, Korean, Chinese. Like you could just do the rounds and try the whole world in Sligo.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Aaron, have you got a favorite place to eat in town?
Um, yeah, probably actually Jalan Jalan. It's Vietnamese and it's class. Yeah, I don't really know. That's probably my favorite place that we to go to. Yeah, definitely my favorite anyway. So
Brilliant. What other kind of things would you get up to, say, on a like a day where you haven't got many lectures and things like that? Do you ever kind of get out of the town and go out and enjoy the scenery or anything like that? Or
definitely the likes of Strand Hill as well, Ross's Point, and there's some nice like hideaway beaches and stuff like that, such as Strida, which are just really nice to go out to, and you just think you're in a different country altogether. But yeah, just even go for a walk, go for a run, something like that. Just kill a few hours. And yeah, that's probably my three spots to go to anyways. But
yeah, no, that's great. Like, I mean, we are really lucky that we have the best of both worlds. We have lots of natural, scenic kind of landscape around us, and then we have obviously big town with plenty going on in it. Daniel, I know you know plenty about kind of Sligo town itself and that kind of thing, but like what would your kind of, if you had a day off, what would you be kind of heading into town to do? What kind of stuff do you like to do in town?
I don't know, maybe just go into like Belfry, watch a few football games, something like that with your friends and enjoy your day off.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's tons to do depending on what you're into. So there's, as Abby was saying, there's cinema, there's plenty of coffee shops, we've loads of beaches within very close distance to town. Everything's very, very nearby in Sligo. It's all within walking distance. We even have pitch and putt just up behind us as well. It's not too far from the college as well. There's Hazelwood Glencar, Waterfall, that kind of thing. You can do supping in Knockgill, there's surfing, all those sorts of things. What about you, Alana? Anything in particular that I haven't mentioned yet that they can get up to in Sligo? Good, that's it. Yeah, Knocknarea Mountain, beautiful views. Yeah, it's a great spot altogether. Yeah. And so that's the day kind of taken care of if you're coming up to Sligo. So nightlife is obviously a major part of student life in Sligo. And there is something for everybody. So Evia, if you were heading out for the evening, what kind of things would you be doing in Sligo?
I make sure to follow like all like the bars and like the clubs on their social media, and they'll post it as like an event on. So if there's a DJ in town, or if there's live music on in a specific bar, or even like a themed night. Like recently we had Latino night and it was in Lily's, and that was really good. It's all like Latino music. And sometimes they'll have like an ABBA night where it's all ABBA in like a certain bar. And then they might have like a cheesy hits night where it's all like old cheesy hits. So whatever you're into, there's going to be a night for you anyway. So I'd recommend just follow all like the bars and clubs on social media, and they'll let you know what's on.
That's absolutely brilliant. And Daniel, I know you know a lot of the different places to go as well. So what would you be doing on a night out in town? Where would you head?
Probably start at the brewery and then head along the mall past the rest of the pub, and then maybe end up in the Scar Vogue.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of options. Like, and I think that's the other thing to say, that like Sligo has a really good music scene. Like there's plenty of, you know, DJ nights, theme nights and things like that, like Evia mentioned as well. But there's also the live music that's available. There's plenty for people to enjoy there. Alana, what about yourself? Anything different to what the guys have said there?
Well, I would normally be going out, but it would be a movie night back at your accommodation. Probably, I think one night we had 10 of us in, squeezed around a laptop, watched a movie.
That is brilliant, absolutely. And that's the other thing too, like there's a great cinema, and there's also the Hawkswell Theatre as well. So if you're into drama and that kind of thing, like some of the performing arts students and that kind of thing that might be interested in doing drama, like there's a great theatre scene in Sligo. There's the Hawkswell, there's factory. There's loads and loads of places to go. Even like as Daniel was saying, the Belfry has like a pool room, snooker room, there as well. If you weren't going out, like that's a really good spot to check out as well. So that's it. So in terms of that's nightlife, and then to try and fund all of this, it's important to have kind of part-time work and that kind of thing to keep you going. Or if you're very busy with college work, you won't have time. You might have work placements and things like that. So, Aaron, how have you found it in terms of job opportunities down in Sligo for part-time work and that kind of thing?
Well, I actually work out in Harvey Norman out in the retail park, so I was fortunate enough to get in there. Super handy. There's definitely loads of places. Just even looking around, there's lots of hiring kind of posters up and stuff like that as well. And even just the likes of bars and stuff like that, they're always looking for people to take on a job or something like that. But yeah, definitely there's lots of opportunities and lots of different kind of sectors you can get into and stuff like that as well. Even if it's just part-time, and who knows where it'll take you. So
Yeah. But you had no problems anyway. There was always kind of options, was there?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
Even just
good.
looking on Indeed and stuff like that as well, jobs.ie.
Yeah.
There's plenty of different opportunities. There's kind of something for everybody anyway. So
That's brilliant. And what about yourself, Evia? You're the same. You're doing part-time work too, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I managed to get a job when like I had everything going against me. Like I got a job during the whole like COVID pandemic when it first began and everything was so unsure. And I had no customer service experience. And even though like, and I still managed to get a job. So I feel like if I manage to get one, you will manage to get one. So they're always looking for students to do a few hours here and there, like in bars and retail shops, etc. So you'll definitely get something.
That is absolutely brilliant. And I do think one of the great things about the practical side of our programs like that we teach here is that they kind of lend themselves to work. So like Daniel, I know like even just with the skills you've picked up yourself and also through the program you're doing, you've done, work for like the local pubs and things like that, haven't you?
Yeah,
Do you want to chat a
pretty.
little bit about kind of
So like you pick up skills, and especially in my course, to like graphic design, web design, stuff like that. They're doing like graphic posters and like social media for local venues and pubs who struggle to
brilliant.
normally do it.
It's great because then like it's a benefit to your program, but it's also helping you pick
It
up
also helps
experience too.
work experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And Alana, I know obviously work placement is a major part of the
Mhm.
program you're studying, pharmaceutical science. Do you want to chat a little bit
Yeah.
about the work placement opportunities you've had?
So for the year 2020, I got to work with Abbott Diagnostics and just in Peninsula in Sligo. So out of our course, I think Abbott took on in total 8 people. Like there's opportunities everywhere in the Northwest, and then there's a few people who actually go abroad. There's opportunities in Belgium and Germany. Yeah, it's and the work you do, it's valuable to the company as well. It's not like you're going in and you're just sitting there in an office filing paperwork or anything. It's like you're actually getting involved in production and the development maybe of a drug, the quality control of the drugs. Yeah, it is amazing.
That's brilliant.
It's
It's just such a fantastic experience to have even before you graduate. Like it's incredible. Like it when you told me about it, it sounded fantastic. So thank you so much for telling us about it. And one of the other parts, I suppose, to college life is, there's the studying, there's, maybe the part-time work you might have and that kind of thing, but there's also the life outside that. So we're going to chat a little bit now about the sports facilities, the clubs, societies and that kind of thing. So Evia, when you first joined IT Sligo and even up to now, you chat a little bit about the kind of clubs, societies and things like that you've been involved with.
Well, there's a big clubs and societies open day, like when you first kind of come. So you get to see all of them and kind of learn which ones you'll try. And I just put my name down for loads of them and just end up going to a few of them and then just stuck with one or two. So I went to the Airsoft Clubs and Society and we went on a day out and went shooting. And that was my first time doing something like that. So it was completely out of my realm, but I had a go. And then there's also the chess club, and that'd be something I'd be more involved in. And so they meet like once a week to play chess. And then there's obviously the equestrian club as well, if you're into horses, meets for that. And then all the different sports. So if you're into track and field, if you're dancing, we've got a good rate to dance societies if you're into dancing. And then arts and everything. I just put my name down for everything and had a go. And then whatever ones I liked the best, I stuck with them. So
That's
I'd recommend
brilliant.
you do the same.
I see Alana nodding her head there because you're involved with the Dad Society, aren't you, Alana?
Yeah, I was secretary in second year, chairperson in third year, and treasurer this year. So yeah, I've been Dance Society from first year on.
It's a great way to get to know people. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. What about you, Aaron? When you started, did you check out any clubs or societies or anything like that?
No, no, actually, surprisingly not. I didn't. But look at the whole the corridor is just covered with clubs and societies as well. And if you're even brave enough, I think you can look to set up your own one and stuff like that if there isn't something for you. So
absolutely. And that's it. Like we kind of say that there's something for everyone here at IT Sligo. So we have over 70 clubs and societies available to people. And it's just a great way to meet new people and to try out new things and that kind of thing. So if you're kind of starting in a new place for the first time, it can be a great way of settling you in. We're coming up on our time here now, so I'm just conscious to let people know as well that there's lots of supports when you start college. So we have Academic Writing Centre, Math Support Centre, Students' Union. There's loads of support there to help you succeed. So we might finish it off with just a little bit of advice for students. So I'm going to go to the guys. If you were, for any students watching this right now, Daniel, what advice would you have for them?
Coming into first year, just enjoy the experience and do everything you can, and don't worry about the stress.
That's great advice. Absolutely brilliant advice. We could all do with taking that on board, I think. What about you, Alana? Any advice for anybody watching this right now?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's not going to be leaving you're sitting 2 years worth of material at the end of 2 years. You're never doing that again. You're doing 12 weeks of material, you're setting your exam. And at that, like, say for my course, half of it is continuously assessed and it's more in some other courses. So yeah, just don't panic about the workload. Just relax, get involved in stuff, and yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Alana. What about you, Evia? Any final words for the students watching?
I'd say one of the benefits of IT Sligo is that you're not just a number, like you're in a smaller class. So if you are struggling with anything, like just reach out to the lecturer. They're people too, and they see you as people, not numbers. So they'll treat you as such. So they're down to earth. So if you're struggling, just reach out, and they're very nice and very accommodating. So
that's lovely. Thank you so much. And what about you, Aaron? Any final words?
I think the guys kind of summed it up pretty well. I just kind of, I suppose, take every opportunity that you can get. There's no such thing as a silly question, especially not in IT Sligo. So I suppose go to your lecturers, go to the students that might be a little bit further on, see how you can maybe up your game or whatever it is. But yeah, definitely just take every opportunity you can get and see what happens.
Absolutely brilliant, guys. You've been absolutely fantastic. So on that note, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who took part in the panel today. I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in to watch us. The next talk on this stream is about CEO tips, so it's definitely worth checking that out. And there's lots of other live talks that'll be available on demand afterwards as well. So thank you again to everyone who chatted to me today. I really appreciate it. Thanks to you for watching, and enjoy the rest of the virtual open day, guys. Thank you.